Welcome along to a brand new Rugby Obsession deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really getting into something that, well, it always gets people talking in rugby, doesn't it? Officiating.
Always. Yeah.
We're focusing on that recent British and Irish Lions test match, specifically those really key calls, the ones that had everyone debating.
Yeah.
From, the stands right through to the commentary box.
Definitely. And if you're passionate about this stuff like we are, make sure you hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession wherever you get your deep dives.
Yeah, you really don't want to miss out on these kinds of analyses.
Absolutely. So the mission today, we want to sort of cut through all the chatter and really unpack the views from two very, very respected former Wallabies coaches. We're talking Eddie Jones and Ewen McKenzie.
It's big names.
Huge. They weighed in on these crucial moments, and their insights, well, they're pretty central to understanding what actually happened and, maybe more importantly, why it matters in the bigger picture of rugby.
Okay, so getting right to the core of their expert takes, let's unpack the first big one then. A moment that really did have everyone talking. This deep dive is all about seeing those angles you might have missed.
Right. The first major flashpoint, and you could argue maybe the most contentious one, happened just before Hugo Keenan scored that match-winning try. We're talking the second Lions test in Melbourne.
The try sealed the series, didn't it?
It did, but it was the action just before that was the real fire starter.
Right, so before Keenan actually touched the ball down, there was this forceful clear-out by Jac Morgan on Carlo Tizzano. Now, maybe for listeners newer to the game, a clear-out, it's essentially driving an opponent away from the tackle area, right,
Yeah.
to secure the ball or make space.
Exactly. And this one immediately sparked a huge debate. You had Joe Schmidt, for instance, calling it dangerous almost straight away.
But then on the other side, Lions coach Andy Farrell looked at it and said, nope, fair and legal, emphatically so.
So, yeah, two really well-respected rugby figures, completely different views, polar opposites almost.
Which is fascinating in itself. So where did Eddie Jones land on this?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Jones gave his verdict on the Rugby Unity podcast with David Pembroke and Ewen McKenzie. And he was, well, unequivocal. He sided completely with Andy Farrell.
Okay, so he agreed with the Lions' view.
He did, but it wasn't just agreement. He made a really strong argument, actually, one that sort of touches on the fundamental nature of rugby itself. He's making a bigger point, you know?
Right, not just a call, but something more fundamental.
Okay.
Jones actually said, and I'm quoting him here, if he, meaning referee Andrea Piardi, hadn't allowed that try, then basically the clean-out would be out of the game in rugby. That's a huge statement.
It really is. It's not just critiquing one decision. It's like he's challenging the very essence of how forward play works. He did acknowledge Tizzano got hit in the head. That wasn't ignored.
Okay.
But he stressed that Morgan couldn't do anything more legal than he did. That was his view.
Wow. So what does that really mean for the sport if you take that logic forward?
Well, it brings up this massive question about what rugby actually is. If you start ruling out clear-outs like that, then, as Jones put it quite dramatically, we might as well forget about rucks and have play the balls.
Right, the rugby league comparison. Explain that a little, maybe.
Sure. So a ruck is that contest for the ball on the ground, players binding over it. It's core to rugby union. Play the balls, that's mainly a rugby league thing, where the tackled player just rolls the ball back with their foot. Much less of a contest for possession in that specific moment.
So Jones is saying, if you take away that kind of clear out, you fundamentally change the contest.
Exactly. You potentially strip rugby of one of its defining features. The ruck is all about continuity, contest. If you over-police legitimate clearouts, maybe the game becomes less dynamic, less contested. It's a massive potential shift.
That's a powerful point. So for you listening, what does this boil down to?
Yeah.
It just shows that incredibly fine line officials have to walk, doesn't it? In real time, at full speed.
Absolutely. These aren't easy calls. The game's so fast, so intense. And these nuanced decisions, like Morgan's clear out, they spark such debate because they really hit the heart of what rugby is or what it should be.
It's not just about one rule in isolation. It's about the spirit, the evolution of the game.
Yeah.
Makes you look beyond just the slow-mo replay sometimes.
Definitely. Okay, so shifting gears slightly, let's talk about the referee's overall performance in that game, Andrea Piardi. Now, interestingly, despite that huge controversy we just discussed, Eddie Jones actually thought the Italian ref did a pretty good job overall.
Oh, okay, so he wasn't slamming the whole performance based on that one call.
Not at all. But he did pinpoint one very specific moment where he thought Piardi made a mistake. And it's quite an interesting insight into just how complex referee positioning can be.
Right. This is where we get into the real sort of tactical side of officiating. This happened when about 28 minutes in.
Yeah, 28th minute. Wallabies were attacking. Scrum half Jac Morgan. He slices through the Lions' defense, scores a try that honestly looked a bit too easy.
I remember that one. Yeah, it looked like the defense just opened up.
Exactly. But Jones's observation was really sharp. He noticed Piardi, the ref, was actually positioned in the defense line right then.
Oh, okay. Not behind the play.
No, in the line. And Jones felt he inadvertently got in the way of the Lions prop, Andrew Porter, basically created an obstruction.
And that obstruction created the gap for Gordon.
That was Jones's argument. It opened up that crucial space for Gordon to go through pretty much untouched. How significant do you think that is, that kind of error?
Will potentially match altering, even if unintentional?
For sure. Jones was quite clear. He said refs have got to be careful with the referee being in the defense line in that situation. His advice was firm. Piardi should have been behind the ruck. Much safer, less intrusive.
And he hoped Piardi gets coached on that.
Yeah, he said, it's not a good position to be in. It definitely provided obstruction for the 9 to go through. It's subtle, easy to misleave. But it shows how even just where the ref stands can accidentally shape the game.
And Ewen McKenzie, the other former Wallabies coach, he was on the same page.
Completely. He said 100% agreement with Jones. McKenzie even brought up that rugby league comparison again.
Oh, yeah. How so?
He said if that had happened in league, that wouldn't have been a try. Full stop. He felt Andrew Porter just didn't get a chance to make the tackle.
And maybe it was overlooked because the try looked, as you said, too easy.
That was McKenzie's point. Maybe people just assumed it was poor defense, rather than looking at the ref's position. It's fascinating how perception works, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But McKenzie's overall view of Piardi, still positive despite that.
Surprisingly, yes. He thought Piardi managed the game pretty well overall, said he was selected for a reason by the ref's bosses. He acknowledged there was a lot going on in that game.
Like what?
Well, Australia having basically all the ball and all the penalties in the first half, which eventually led to that yellow card for ill discipline from the Lions. So, lots for Piardi to handle.
But McKenzie had another concern, too.
He did. A point about consistency. He felt Piardi didn't quite follow through on the scrum dominance Australia built up in the second half. Maybe reward that dominance more clearly with penalties. That could have been significant for the Wallabies.
Right. So, thinking about this for us, the fans, the people watching and learning, what does it all really highlight? It just shows how incredibly complex the referee's job is, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just knowing the laws. It's about positioning, anticipating play, understanding the flow, and how even an accidental move can change everything.
It really is an art form, navigating that chaos. 30 players, moving at pace, making split-second calls. It's going to be one of the toughest jobs out there.
Oh, absolutely. And it speaks to that broader art of officiating. These subtle errors, like just being in the wrong spot, can have huge consequences. It really underlines why refs need continuous learning, continuous adaptation.
Every game is a lesson.
For everyone involved, yeah. Players, coaches, and definitely the officials, too. And actually, on that note, we'd love to hear what you think. Just a reminder to subscribe to Rugby Obsession if you haven't already.
Yeah, definitely subscribe. And please, share your thoughts with us. What did you see in those moments? What stood out to you about the officiating? Let us know.
It's clear, isn't it, that even though Jones and McKenzie had these specific criticisms...
Yeah, the clear out, the positioning.
Exactly. Despite those, both largely praised Piardi's overall management of the game. And that tells you something important right there.
It really highlights the complexity, doesn't it? Officiating, analyzing elite rugby. It's very rarely just black and white. Even the top experts can see things differently or find these nuances.
Precisely. And for you, listening, getting these detailed analyses from people like Jones and McKenzie, it's just crucial for a deeper appreciation of the game, I think.
It moves you beyond just looking at the scoreboard, right?
Yeah, it gets you into the strategy, the technical battles, and also understanding that incredibly tough job the officials have. It just gives you a richer way to watch and understand rugby.
And it makes you think more critically, too. How do these expert insights maybe change or, I don't know, reinforce how you saw the game? Do you look at that Morgan clear out differently now? Or Gordon's try?
And these debates, they're not just for fun, are they? They actually feed into how rugby laws evolve, how referee coaching develops. It's part of how the game keeps trying to improve itself.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today,
Hmm.
we've looked at those differing views on Jac Morgan's clear-out, which was massive.
Huge. And we've got those fascinating insights from Eddie Jones and Ewen McKenzie on referee positioning and consistency, focusing on Andrea Piardi.
And all these moments, all the debate around them, they just add to what makes rugby so intense and, well, endlessly fascinating to follow. And maybe it leaves us with a final thought, a bit of a provocative one, perhaps. As the game keeps getting faster, more physical, how much pressure do you think referees are really under when making these split-second, potentially game-deciding calls?
It's immense.
And following on from that, what more could the sport do, maybe, to support them? Because it's got to be one of the toughest jobs on the pitch. Something to mull over, maybe?
Definitely something to think about. We really hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Please make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you get all our deep dives delivered straight to you.
Thank you so much for listening to this Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode.